You're welcome to be seated. Thank you very much. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. We're ready to resume with the trial of the case. Mr. Porter, whenever you're ready, sir.
Yeah, I've given Ms. Moss the photographs that I intend to finish up with, and she's in the process of reviewing.
All right, thank you.
Investigator Finney, I'm gonna try another thing to see if I can be a little more merciful to us all. I'm gonna show you a packet of photographs that are identified. Yeah, we can do them essentially in any order. As states as PS number 102, 103. 104, 105, and 106. Could you look through those photographs? And when you're ready, I have some questions for
Okay. Yes.
Do you recognize the photographs that I've just handed to you in the order that I have?
Yes, I do.
All right. Starting with 102. Could you tell, did you take all those photographs?
Yes, I did.
Are they accurate representations of the item that you were photographing at the time?
Yes, they are.
And starting with 102, could you tell us what those photographs depict as you go through sequentially?
Okay. When I finished the documentation of the crime scene and took everything back to headquarters, I met with a medical examiner investigator there who was also out at the scene with me, and he had some items that he had transported back to headquarters that were mostly contained within the trash can from the scene, and then he released all those items to my custody. So the first picture, PS 102, this photograph is one that I took of a black garbage bag, and you can see a bit of a piece of clear plastic. The clear plastic was what the medical examiner investigator gave me the bag in. So the item of evidence is the black plastic garbage bag. In the photograph, you can see that it is mostly covered in soot, and the edges are all burned. PS 103 is also one of those items that the medical examiner investigator released to my custody. This is a photograph I took of a mostly charred, badly burned, it appears to be a brown and maroon colored comforter or blanket of some sort. Is on a white sheet, which is how the investigator gave it to me. So the actual item of evidence is this badly burned, charred comforter. PS 104 are continuation of the items given to me. These were items recovered by the investigator that the victim was wearing. The photograph depicts what appears to be 2 socks, a pair of underwear, and some type of white shirt. All of the items are badly burned and covered in stains. PS 105 is a close-up picture of those same items. I laid them out so you could see them individually a little bit better. The picture has 2 small children's girls' socks, a pair of small children's girls' underwear, and then the remnants of a white children's girls' shirt. All of the items are badly burned. They also are covered in stains, and some of them, the pieces were flaking off. They were that burnt. PS 106 is a photograph of duct tape along with a label that I have beside it that says that it was removed from the victim's shirt. There was duct tape on the white shirt from the previous photograph. Some of it could not be removed. It was too melted to the shirt. This is a piece that I was able to cut off to remove for further documentation and some latent print processing.
I want to go back into sequence for a minute if I can, and go back to what's been, I want to have you look at a package that's been marked States Exhibit, or PS 80, 81, and 82.
Okay.
First of all, can you look through those photographs?
Okay.
Do you recognize the photographs in 80, 81, and 82?
Yes, I do.
Did you take those photographs?
Yes, I did.
And do they accurately depict what they purport to show?
Yes, they do.
Beginning with 80, PS 80, could you describe the contents of those photographs?
PS 80 is an empty plastic bag from Anna's Linens. This was recovered from inside one of the black trash bags that was beside the trash can in the primary crime scene. PS 81 is an empty queen-size comforter bag. It's clear plastic with a zippered top. This was also recovered from inside one of the black trash bags from the primary crime scene.
Now, just to be clear, are you referring to the two trash bags that were in the median by the garbage can?
Yes, I am. Yes. PS 82 is a close-up photograph of the barcode skew for that comforter that was in the previous photograph.
I want to show you a packet of photographs that are sequentially numbered from PS 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, all the way up to 92. And if you could look through number 80, 83 through 92, those 9 photographs.
Okay.
First of all, do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, I do.
83 to 92.
Yes.
Did you take those photographs?
Yes, I did.
Do they accurately depict what they purport to show?
Yes.
All right. I want to ask you, at some point after you had done the crime scene at the apartment, was the Trailblazer towed to Gwinnett County Police Headquarters after the defendant's arrest?
Yes.
And as part of the general investigation, was a search warrant obtained for the search of that vehicle?
Yes, it was.
And then was that search warrant, that signed search warrant, brought to you to give you authorization to search the Trailblazer?
Yes.
So, in the course of searching the Trailblazer, were there items of evidentiary value obtained and documented by you as the crime scene investigator?
Yes, there were.
Right. Beginning with picture number 83, can you describe the contents of the photographs for the jury?
The first photograph, PS 83, is a picture that I took of the back of the Chevrolet Trailblazer. This is showing its location, which is in our crime scene unit's garage bay. That's where we typically process our vehicles. It's a controlled environment. PS 84 is, I'm now standing at the front of the Trailblazer, photographing the front of it. It's still within our crime scene unit garage bay. PS 85 is a picture of the driver's seat. You can see kind of slightly under the seat, there is a Duraflame flexible lighter in its packaging, kind of half under the seat, half sticking out.
Now, is that one of the items that you later took custody of and attempted to process for additional evidence?
Yes, I collected this. PS 86 is a close-up photograph of an Anna's Linens rewards card from inside of the Chevrolet Trailblazer. PS 87 is a receipt that I located inside the Trailblazer. The date stamp on it is October 31st of 2013 for items purchased at a Target. PS 88 is showing the back seat of the Trailblazer. There's a plastic white Walmart bag with some items inside. It's knotted closed, so at this point I was just photographing its location, being the back seat of the Trailblazer. PS 89 is a picture I took once I opened that Walmart bag and emptied out the contents. This picture has the Walmart bag. There's also 2 pieces of Kingsford brand charcoal briquettes, just pieces of the the paper bag that the briquettes come in. And there's also some sort of paperwork that was in the Walmart bag. PS 90 is a photograph that I took inside the Chevy Trailblazer. This is showing the underneath the front passenger seat. You can see that there's some type of white plastic bottle. At this time, I couldn't quite see what it was. I could just see that it was kind of under that seat. PS 91 is once I was able to reach in there and get that item out. It was a Kingsford brand odorless charcoal lighter fluid container that was mostly full. And PS 92 is a photograph of the back cargo area of the Trailblazer, and it's a picture of the one of the things that was in it, which is a bag of cherry barbecue smoking chips.
Show you pictures marked PS number 93 through 97. Can you go through those and tell me if you recognize those photographs?
Yes, I do.
Did you take those photographs?
Yes, I did.
Do they accurately represent what they purport to depict?
Yes, they do.
And going through them sequentially, could you describe the contents of each of the photographs?
PS 93 is a picture that I took of the metal trash can from the primary crime scene. I took it on scene. I lifted the lid off of the trash can and I photographed from a top view what I could see inside of the trash can. The photograph just depicts a badly burned body inside the trash can. You can see that the feet of the body are at the top of the trash can. You can see a hand somewhere towards the middle, and also you can see some maroon and brown, some type of cloth within the charred remains. PS 94 is a picture from the top view looking down inside of the trash can, just from a different angle. I stood in a different location when I took it. You can see feet at the top of the trash can along with a hand towards the middle of the can.
Investigator Finney, did you take the picture straight down but move around the trash can to get the various vantage points?
Yes, that is what I was doing. PS 95 is I zoomed in a little further into the trash can in order to take a photograph of deeper into the trash can. This photo, PS 95, you can see it's a close-up of what appears to be a human leg. You can see duct tape around the leg as well as socks on the feet. PS 96 is I was again moving around the trash can, continuing taking pictures of what was inside the trash can without touching or moving anything inside of it. This photograph, PS 96, is showing badly burned remains. You can see the feet and socks and pieces of that maroon and brown cloth that was in there, as well as a hand. PS 97 is a close-up photograph that I took of the inside of the trash can, and it has a close-up of the feet which were at the top of the trash can.
I want to show you what had been previously marked as PS 98, 99, 100, and 101. Can you look at those photographs and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Did you take those photographs?
Yes, I did.
Are they an accurate representation of what they purport to depict?
Yes.
Could you go through from PS 98 through 100, is it 101? 101, and describe the contents of those photographs in sequence.
These are photographs that I took back at the crime scene unit in our garage bay. Like I mentioned previously, when I returned back to headquarters, I met with a medical examiner investigator who had collected some evidence. He was also the one in charge of the chain of custody and transport of the trash can with the victim still inside. After the victim was removed, he gave me custody of multiple items, including the trash can. PS 98 is a photograph I took showing the trash can to include the label that was on it that has the brand name, as well as there's an evidence tag on it from the scene. PS 99 is I'm now rotating around the trash can, taking more pictures of it inside our crime scene unit. This photograph is of the side of the trash can with the evidence tag on it, and you can see that about half of the trash can has burn marks on it, coming from the top and going down. PS 100 is a picture of the underside of the trash can's lid. The majority of it is badly burned and covered in soot. And PS 101 is a photograph I took of looking down into the trash can again. The body has been removed, and now this picture depicts several charcoal briquettes at the bottom of it, as well as a piece of the paper packaging of a briquettes bag.
Now, was the trash can also, once you photographed it, was it pushed on for further analysis?
Yes, it was.
And we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would move for the admission of photographs that are sequentially labeled from PS 80 to PS 106.
Any objection? State's exhibits PS 80 through 106 are each admitted without objection.
Your Honor, with the court's permission at this time, the state would like to publish not all of the photographs, but certain ones
Yes, using the TV screen?
Using the TV screen. At least we have one smart lawyer in the. I'd like to refer your attention, Investigator Finney, to what has previously been marked as State's Exhibit number 20, PS 27, which is the photo. You can see it on the screen to your side. You have previously described this photograph. Can you very quickly summarize it for the jury again and what they are seeing on this screen?
This is the primary crime scene. This is a photograph I took as I was approaching the grassy area that had the metal trash can on it. This picture just shows the metal trash can with the 2 black garbage bags beside it.
All right. If you could move to what has been marked as PS 41, please. This has been previously marked and admitted as PS 41. Can you look at that and tell the jury or re-explain to the jury what that depicts?
This was a picture I took of the inside of the pantry, inside of the apartment. It just shows the top 2 shelves. They contain unexpired edible food.
Could you move, please, to PS 42? Is that? No. This is 42. This has been previously marked as PS 42 and admitted. Can you describe for the jury what that depicts?
This is my photographs continuing down, showing the rest of the shelves of the pantry and the contents of each shelf containing unexpired edible food.
If we can move to PS 43, please.
This is an opened cabinet in the kitchen containing food items inside.
And if we could move to PS 44, please.
This is the interior of the refrigerator. You can see food and drink items on the shelves.
And the items on the bottom shelf there that appear to be pots and glass containers, did they contain food?
Yes, there was food inside.
The next photograph I'd like to go to has been previously marked as PS 52. Can you describe for the jury what that depicts?
This is the initial photograph taken showing the cabinets underneath the kitchen sink. So this was before anything had been removed. This is just the doors open, take a picture to show what is inside.
Could you move to PS 54, please?
This is still underneath the kitchen sink in that cabinet. This was a box that you could see in the previous picture, an empty box. This is showing that I am about to remove the box to take a better photograph of what's inside. You can see slightly that there's a roll of duct tape and a plastic bag inside.
Could we move to PS 58, please? Could you tell the jury what that depicts?
This is a picture inside of the victim's bedroom. You can see the bed with the comforter kind of slightly pulled up at the corner, and then the inside of the closet with clothes inside.
And is that can you see the fold marks or creases as you described them in that picture on the comforter?
Yes, you can see towards the top of the comforter near the pillows, you can see the deep creases there, as well as continuing through the middle and some at the bottom of the picture.
Could we move to PS number 58, please? Or I'm sorry, 59. Can you describe for the jury what that depicts?
This is a photograph standing in the doorway of the victim's bedroom. This is angled down toward the carpet. The carpet was stained with brown and yellow stains.
Did you also notice that there appeared to be marks from a vacuum cleaner in that carpet?
I don't recall.
Can we move to PS number 60, please? One back. And can you describe for the jury what that shows?
This is now standing in the bedroom, taking a picture of the carpeted floor along the edge on, near the walls. You can see the brown and yellow staining.
Can we move to PS 61, please? Can you describe for the jury what that depicts?
This is after the comforter was removed and then the mattress was flipped to see what it looked like underneath. In the top right corner of the picture, you can see some staining.
And then can we go to 62, please?
62 is now an overall of that same underside of the mattress. You can see stains starting at the top of the mattress and continuing down towards the bottom. They were brown, yellow, and some possible blood was there as well.
Can we move to PS 64, please? Can you describe what that is to the grand jury, or what that photo depicts?
This is a close-up photograph I took on scene of a Walmart receipt dated October 30th of 2013. This was inside of the Walmart bag under the kitchen sink cabinet.
Can we go to PS 62, please?
This is the photograph of the Anna's Linens receipt. This was located under the Anna's Linen, or I'm sorry, the sheet set that was sitting on the kitchen countertop, dated October 31st of 2013.
And then can we go to PS 66, please? Can you tell the jury what that depicts?
This is that kitchen countertop inside of the apartment. This is the sheet set that was sitting on it. Underneath the sheet set, you can see some, like the edge of a white paper, which ultimately was the Anna's Linens receipt collected.
Can we go to PS 73, please? Can you tell the jury what that depicts?
This was a grocery bag that was inside of one of those black trash bags near the trash can. It had clothing and towel items inside, as well as on top you can see a blue latex glove.
Investigator Finney, when you opened those bags, you've previously testified that the room had a strong odor.
Yes.
Did these items also?
Yes, the items that I removed from both of the trash bags all had a strong urine smell coming off of them. Some of the items that I removed actually were still dripping. They were that wet with what smelled like urine. In this picture, you can see some wet marks near the top as well as on that blue glove, and there was a very strong smell of urine.
Can we go to PS 74, I'm sorry, which I think is the next one.
Excuse me, this is another plastic bag from inside of the trash bag showing some towels and clothing items within, as well as a black garbage bag.
And these are the items that you previously described that you set out in the drying bins to dry, is that correct?
Yes, I did.
I would like to go to PS number 77. Can you describe those?
These are blue latex gloves, and there's some used tissues, those white crumpled up pieces of tissues within the photo. These were inside a bag inside of one of the black trash bags.
And can we move to PS 79, please?
This is a pair of a child's girl's underwear from within the trash bag.
Right. And is that after the drying process had taken place?
Yes, it is.
I want to make sure I have. on just a second. I'll get my list. If we could go to the next photograph, which would be marked PS 80, please. All right, can you identify that for the jury and describe what it contains?
This is a plastic Anna's linens bag from within those black trash bags. Also, within this bag, there was an empty comforter packaging inside of the linens bag.
Right. Can we move to PS 80, please? 81, I'm sorry.
This is the empty comforter, queen-size comforter that was within that Anna's linens bag.
And then moving to 84, PS 84. Can you describe what that depicts to the jury, please?
This is a picture that I took of the Chevrolet Trailblazer inside of our CSI garage bay, so I could begin documentation.
Can we move to PS 85, please? Can you describe that for the jury, please?
This is under the front driver's seat of the Trailblazer. There's a Duraflame flexible lighter in its packaging under the seat.
Can we move to 89, please? And can you describe what that is for the jury, please?
This is the Walmart bag that had been previously knotted on the back seat of the Trailblazer. Once I unknotted it and removed the contents, there were pieces of the charcoal briquettes bag inside, as well as some, I believe it was car paperwork, the white piece in the corner.
All right. Can we move to 91, please? Can you tell the jury what that depicts and where it was located?
This was a mostly full Kingsford charcoal lighter fluid. It was located under the front passenger seat of the Trailblazer.
Can we move to 93, please? Can you describe what that is to the jury?
This is the picture that I took at the crime scene, at the primary scene, when I opened the lid and I was looking down into the trash can. You can see there are feet at the topmost part of the trash can. Near the bottom left, you can see a hand, and right above the hand, you can see some maroon and brown colored, some type of bedding.
Right. Can you also see charcoal briquettes in that photograph?
Yes, near the bottom left are where they're most visible.
Can we go to 101, please? Can you tell the jury what that depicts? What's been previously marked as PS 101.
This is the photograph I took showing the contents of the trash can after the victim had been removed. You can see the charcoal briquettes and then a piece of the packaging of the briquettes packaging along the edge.
Can we move to PS 102? And would you describe that for the jury, please?
This is one of the items I received from the medical examiner investigator, a black garbage bag. You can see in the photograph that it's mostly covered in soot and the edges are burned and melted.
Can we move to 103, please? And could you tell the jury what that is?
This is another item received from the ME investigator. This is a maroon and brown. It appeared to be a comforter once it was able to be kind of unfolded. It was very badly burned and charred.
Can we move to 104, please? Can you tell the jury what that depicts?
These are more items received from the ME investigator, just kind of laid out as they were given to me. This has the, you can see socks near the bottom, a pair of a child's underwear along the edge, and then at the top, a white shirt. All badly
Move
burnt.
to 105, please. And can you tell us what that is?
Excuse me, this is after I separated the items just to better photograph them, the socks, underwear, and shirt.
All right, Investigator Finney, you'll be glad to know that we're done with photographs. Now we're going to move to other items of physical evidence. But before we go there, I would like to talk a little bit about the process again. and how this happens. So you've documented and photographed all of the items, and you've already testified that certain items are removed for further processing.
Yes.
Can you tell the jury what you mean by further processing?
Further processing means to try to find more evidence from those items of evidence. This means physical evidence, which is fingerprints. We would process them using chemicals or powders to try to see if there are fingerprints on the items. There could be biological evidence, which would be blood, any kind of fluid, and more documentation along the way.
All right. And in this particular case, did you attempt to obtain fingerprints from various items that were recovered either from the car, the house, or even from the medical examiner's office?
Yes, I did.
All right. Were you successful in any of the items?
Yes.
And could you describe for the jury, when we say obtaining fingerprints, I mean, we all see that on TV, but how is it actually done? How does it work?
When I process for latent fingerprints using a powder, I'm looking for a latent print. Latent means invisible to the naked eye. So just looking at something, I wouldn't be able to see that there was a print there. So I would need something to make it visible. In this instance, it was black fingerprint powder. It's just a very fine black powder that you put on a feather-haired brush, and then you apply it in a circular motion to the item that you're processing for fingerprints. If there are fingerprints on the item, you will see that they look darkened. The black powder will adhere to the fingerprint residue, and it will make it visible so I can see it with my naked eye. Once it's visible, I then have to get that print onto something. So we take pictures of the fingerprint as is, and then we also use, it looks like clear packaging tape. It's latent lift tape, and we put that over top of the powdered print, and then we put it on, it looks like a small white note card. It's called a latent lift card. So now any prints that were recovered, they're each individually lifted with that packaging tape, similar packaging tape, and then put onto note cards for evidence.
And then what's done with the latent prints that are recovered if you have known prints?
Any latent prints that are recovered, if there's a known print that we want to compare them to see if the latent that we recovered belongs to a known person, then we make a comparison folder and we obtain known prints from whoever it is that we're looking at to do a comparison of the unknown to the known.
And do you recall what items that you actually tried to obtain prints from in the course of your investigation?
There were several items that I processed for latent prints. I processed any kind of plastic bag, plastic grocery bag. I would process those for latent prints using powders or chemicals. I processed receipts that were found for latent prints. I processed the items from within the Trailblazer, including the lighter in the packaging, as well as the lighter fluid bottle that was in there. And then additionally, I processed the trash can for latent fingerprints.
Okay. Now, I do want to ask you, because some of these items are here in the courtroom with us today, once you have covered them with fingerprint powder, do you have to label the bag, the evidence bag, when you reseal it differently? Let me just show you.
I'm not sure I understand.
Before I have. I'm going to show you some items that we're having marked. I want to show you what we had pre-marked as State's Exhibit number 9, number 10, and number 11. Before we go into the contents of these, I notice one of these is labeled as a biohazard.
Yes.
Can you tell us why that particular item is because it affects whether we ask that it be handled differently by the jury. Can you tell us why that is marked as a biohazard?
Yes. If a chemical is used to recover latent prints, typically with powders, if you wear gloves, that's the best way to handle evidence after it's been powdered is just wear gloves. With something that's been chemically processed with a fingerprint chemical, we put these stickers on it that say biohazard, chemically treated, handle with gloves. And this is just a way to let everybody know that the contents of this bag, there's a chemical on them, and the chemical still remains active for quite some time. Therefore, if you were to touch it now without gloves, you would get that chemical on your hands, and then you would also be leaving your prints on the item with the chemical still on it. So this is just a way to let everybody who comes across this see that it is chemically treated.
So it's not necessarily a dangerous issue, it is a evidentiary issue, is that
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So let's go back to State's Exhibits number 9, 10, and 11. Beginning with State's Exhibit number 9. Do you recognize that bag?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us what that is, and can you also tell us what it contains?
This is a paper bag with my label and handwriting and signature at the bottom, as well as my signature across the evidence seal. This contains the Walmart receipt from inside of the apartment.
I'm going to have you identify them and then show them to defense counsel to have her look at them before we move on. Can you identify State's Exhibit number 10?
Number 10 is a paper bag with my label and signature and writing on it that states that it contains the Anna's Linens receipt.
Right. And did you, both with 9 and 10, when you say it has your sealing receipt, is that where you sealed the item after you had finished processing it?
Yes, I initial and date across the seal.
And then finally, State's Exhibit number 11, can you look at that and identify both the bag and what you believe it contains?
This is a paper bag with my label, handwriting, signature, and seal across that says that it contains a roll of duct tape from inside the apartment.
Right. And were all of these items obtained in the apartment?
Yes, they were. I'm handing you a tool, but can you first of all open State's Exhibit number 9? Knife. Okay, number 9 is labeled the Walmart receipt.
And what are the contents of State's Exhibit number 9?
This is the Walmart receipt that I have previously processed for fingerprints. I used a chemical, which is why you can see that there's some darkened staining on the item. It's not the crisp white that it was when it was printed. The fingerprint chemicals are what made this happen.
And since you have the gloves on, could you put that sticker on the back side of the piece of paper?
Okay.
And Your Honor, we are marking that item 9A as the contents, and could you place it back into the bag? And this is an item that should not be handled without gloves. Is that right?
Correct.
You've opened State's Exhibit number 10. And what I'd like to do first is put a sticker on that item, please, that is marked 10A. Now, after having opened State's Exhibit number 10, can you identify what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 10A?
Yes, this is the Anna's Linens receipt that I had previously processed for any kind of latent fingerprints using ninhydrin, a chemical to recover latent prints.
If you could just leave it outside so I can give it to defense.
Okay.
You're opening State's Exhibit number 11. And if you could place a sticker designating that item as State's Exhibit number 11A, and can you identify State's Exhibit number 11A?
11A is the roll of duct tape from under the kitchen sink in those cabinets. This has been processed for fingerprints. Only the first layer, the topmost layer of the duct tape processed for prints, as well as the inside of the cardboard ring.
Now, just so we understand, was that processed with fingerprint powder, or did you use the ninhydrin chemical? Or can you tell?
The outside of it, the topmost layer of the tape was processed with powder. You can still see the remnants of the powder all over it. The inside, there was a chemical used to process the cardboard ring part.
So, my bag, and I'll show it. And these items were all removed from the apartment, is that correct?
Correct.
Next, I'd like to move to the vehicle, the items that were removed from the vehicle. And I've had the first one marked as State's Exhibit number 12. Using the same process, could you open State's Exhibit number 12 and place a sticker on the content that is labeled needed labeled States Exhibit number 12A. Can you identify what we've had marked as States Exhibit number 14A?
12, sir.
12, I'm sorry, 12A.
Yes. This is the Walmart bag from the back seat of the Trailblazer that contained the packaging for the charcoal briquettes.
And the red marks on it, is that the fingerprint?
Yes.
Chemical or powder?
This is after I processed it with a chemical rhodamine 6G for fingerprints.
If I can borrow that for a second. Could you open what we've had previously marked as States Exhibit number 13, please? And if you could place the sticker of 13A on that item. And could you describe what item number 13A is?
13A is a Bic brand flexible lighter from inside of the Chevrolet Trailblazer. This is after it was processed for fingerprints using powder.
If you could lay it on top of the bag. I'd like to show you what's been marked as States Exhibit number 14. Can you open that and place a label on the contents of the written 14? And can you identify item, you previously identified States Exhibit number 14. Or can you identify 14 and tell us what that is?
14 is a small Bic brand lighter from inside the Chevrolet Trailblazer.
All right, 14 is the bag.
Oh, yes, 14 is the bag, 14A is the lighter itself. This is after fingerprint processing.
Just to be clear, we went through the same process with 13
Yes,
is the bag.
My bag.
Is that correct?
correct, yes.
And item number 12 is the bag.
The bag, yes,
12A is the contents of that bag.
correct, yes.
And I'm going to ask you questions about all of these in just a second. But I would like you to take a look at, while you're looking at item number 15, and I have a tag for 15. If you could place I've shown you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 15. Can you identify 15?
15 is the bag with my label, my signatures, and my dates on it that states that it contains a Duraflame multi-purpose flexible lighter from inside the Chevrolet Trailblazer.
And can you tell us what item 16A is?
15A
Sorry, 15.
is the Duraflame multi-purpose flexible lighter that was under the driver's seat in the Chevrolet Trailblazer. This was after it was processed for fingerprints.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 16. Can you identify that? And then open it and disclose the contents.
16 is a bag with my label, my signature, my initials and date, stating that it contains a Kingsford Matchlight Instant Charcoal Briquettes. Okay.
And can you, by looking at it, can you tell us what 16A is?
16A is the Kingsford Matchlight Charcoal Briquettes packaging.
And where was that recovered?
I don't recall. I know if I can refer to my report.
Sure.
I know. It was collected from inside the Chevrolet Trailblazer.
All right, I want to stop at this point and ask you a couple of extra questions. When referring to the exhibits you have just identified, which go from State's Exhibit 9 to State's Exhibit number 16, in reference to the bags that are labeled with the numbers, did you, after you had processed these items, did you seal them in accordance with the policy, and can you recognize that you actually sealed them by any markings on the bag?
Yes, I sealed them after I finished the last of my processing. The red evidence tape is across the opening of the bag, and then my initials and the date that I sealed it are across the seal of the tape.
Prior to processing them, were they in a sealed condition when they came from the crime scene?
Correct, yes.
And you were responsible for maintaining that?
Yes, I was.
So the first time since you processed these items that they have seen the light of day is today?
That is correct.
All right.
Maybe. Okay.
I want to show you what we've had previously marked as State's Exhibit number 17.
17 is a bag with my handwriting, label, initials, and seal on it, stating that it contains the Anna's Linens plastic bag from Garbage Bag 2.
And if you could open that and label, and put a label on the contents as State's 17A. Can you identify item number 17A?
Yes, 17A is the Anna's Linens plastic bag after it has been processed for fingerprints.
Item number 17, or excuse me, 18, State's Exhibit number 18. Could you take a look at 18 and identify what that is?
18 is a bag with my handwriting, label, and seal and initials on it that says that it contains a plastic zippered comforter bag from garbage bag 2.
And these were found, the last two items that you described were the items that were found in the trash bags outside the garbage can. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you identify item number 18A?
This is the empty plastic comforter packaging from inside of the Anna's Linens bag in the garbage bag after it has been processed for fingerprints.
Investigator Finney, I'm going to ask you to look at and identify possible State's Exhibit number 19. Don't know.
19 is a paper bag with my label, seals, initials, and date on it that says it contains a burned maroon, red, brown, yellow comforter.
And is that the comforter that the jury has already seen photographs of that you received from the medical examiner's office?
Yes, it is.
In general, can you describe what its condition is inside that bag?
It is in very poor condition. It's very burned and charred. Even when you are handling the bag, you can hear the pieces kind of flaking around on the inside of it.
And how do you know the comforter is in this bag?
I know that the comforter is in this bag because this bag is in the same condition as it was when I sealed it back on the date that I finished doing my documentation and processing. My initials are across all the seals, starting at the bottom of the bag all the way up to the top, along with the date of the seal. And there's no additions or subtractions anywhere.
There won't be a 19A on that. We'll have to discuss how that's going to be handled in front of the jury. But
Yes, sir.
All right, if we could, I'd like you to look at what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 20. Can you identify 20 and then we'll open it up.
20 is a paper bag with my label, initials, seal, and date on it, stating that it contains duct tape from the victim's shirt that I removed at CSI.
And can you open that bag? Can you place a sticker designating that item as 20A? Can you look at item that we've had marked as 20A and identify that?
20A is duct tape that I put in this plastic bag just to ensure that it didn't stick to the sides of the paper bag, along with my seal and handwriting that says that it was removed from the victim's shirt at CSI. Post fingerprint processing.
But sealed in plastic. I can't.
Yes, yes.
I know that's bad practice. And then I want to move to item number 21. Can you identify that bag, and while you're opening it, I'll go out the other.
Number 21 is the paper bag with my handwriting, initials, seals, and date on it. The label says that it contains packaging for the charcoal briquettes bag collected from inside of the metal trash can.
And can you open that up? Investigator Finney, if there's an item that, like the comforter, that doesn't need to be opened, then if you would warn me of that.
Okay. This is kind of falling apart. I don't know if I want to take it fully out of the bag.
I'm going to try and place a sticker right there that says 21A. Can you look at 21A and identify what that is?
This is the piece of the briquettes packaging from inside of the metal trash can. It was amongst the charcoal briquettes that were in there. It's badly burned, and there's several small pieces that have flaked off and that are at the bottom of the bag.
I'm going to set this one aside, and I may ask for permission to reseal it now that it has been identified.
Yes, sir.
Again, these are items that we are not going to open. I'd like you to take a look at State's Exhibit number 22. Based on the condition of the bag and the identifying marks on the outside, can you tell us what's inside State's Exhibit number? Well, first of all, what is 22? And can you tell us what the contents are?
22 is a paper bag with my handwriting, seal, initial, and dates on it. The label says that it contains the victim's burned clothing, which consists of 2 socks, underwear, and a polo shirt.
And again, if you tell the jury, are you confident that those items are in that bag?
Yes, I am.
And how do you know that?
The bag is in the same condition as it was when I sealed it, on the date that I wrote across the seal with my initials on it. There's no other places where it's been opened or there's any holes in it.
going to show you what I had marked as State's Exhibit number 23. Can you examine that and from the labeling, tell me what is in that bag?
Number 23 is a paper bag with my handwriting, initial, seals, and date on it. The label says that it contains a burned black garbage bag from the medical examiner's office.
And again, are you confident that that's the item, that the described item is contained within the bag?
Yes, I am.
And how do you know that?
The seal has not been broken. It still has my initials and date across it, and there's no additions or subtractions on the bag.
If you take a look at what I've had marked as State's Exhibit number 24 and identify that.
This is a paper bag with my handwriting, seals, and initials on it. The label says that it contains duct tape from the victim's shirt, right leg, and left leg, recovered by the medical examiner's office.
And are you confident those items are in the bag based on your examination?
Yes, I am.
Show you what I've had marked as State's Exhibit number 25. Looking at that metal container, can you identify the container and the contents?
This is a metal can with my seals and initials across the seals and date and handwriting. The label says that it contains the charcoal briquettes from the bottom of the metal trash can.
And that can is provided by the Gwinnett County Police. So that's how flammable evidence is stored. Is that right?
That's correct.
And again, are you confident that the items that are contained within the can are as they are described on the label based on the condition?
Yes, I am.
I'm going to hold this for you, but this has been labeled State's Exhibit number 26. Can you examine that and tell me what that is?
Yes. I can see from here. This is a trash can with my seals and initials and dates on all the seals. That is the metal trash can and lid.
And is it in the condition when you see, the same condition it was when you sealed it?
Yes, it is.
Investigator Finney, one last exhibit I'd like you to identify. There are 3 or 4 documents attached together that I've marked as State's Exhibit number 27. Can you identify those documents? And Your Honor, I'm going to have the witness identify it, but it will we'll tender it for admission with the next witness.
Yes. State's Exhibit 27 are this is the latent print envelope of the latent print that I recovered from the exterior side of this metal trash can. It has the latent lift card that I described earlier as that white note card, similar with the latent lift on it. And also has these are the known prints that I obtained by way of fingerprint ink from Miss Tiffany Moss.
And you obtained the fingerprints, both the latent and the known prints, is that right?
Yes, I did.
When you do that, do you do a preliminary examination for comparison between the known prints and the latent print? Did you do an examination to compare those items?
I did an analysis, which is the first step in the comparison process. This means that the latent print is looked at to determine if it's able to be used in a comparison. Sometimes latent prints are recovered and there's not much detail there. Maybe it's just a smidge of a print or a tiny bit of it, and there's just not enough information there for us to do a comparison with. So in the analysis phase, I'm looking at the print to see how much detail I can see. Is there enough there where it could then be used in a comparison to a known set of prints?
Right. And then from the analysis, where does the fingerprint identification process go after you've done your analysis?
After a latent print is deemed to be of value for comparison, meaning there is enough detail there that we can use it to do a comparison to a known set of prints, then the comparison process starts. That's the next step of it. So then a specialist would come in and look at the unknown and the known and start the comparison process.
Are you a specialist?
Yes, I do fingerprint comparisons.
Did you do a fingerprint comparison between the items that are contained in State's Exhibit number 27? And did you reach any conclusions about whether the latent print matches, or can you say with a degree of scientific certainty that the print on the latent comes from Tiffany Moss?
In this case, for this unknown to this set of knowns, I was not the person who completed the comparison. I did the verification.
You did the verification?
Yes,
So
yes.
That's what I was going to do. But you turn that, once you've done your analysis,
Yes,
you turn the item over to an examiner for comparison, is that right?
that is correct, yes.
And as a certified expert, you verify the results of someone who did not work the scene.
That is correct, yes.
Thank you, that's all the question. In regard to the verification process that you just described, does that require special schooling or training or qualifications, and is there a certification involved with that?
Yes, there are fingerprint comparison and analysis classes that the state of Georgia requires that we take at our department in our crime scene unit. In order to do comparisons, you cannot do any comparisons until you have successfully taken the required classes, passed them with 100%, and then after you come back to our unit, we have like an on-the-job comparison training program where we have specialists that hold international certifications in fingerprint comparisons, and so we pair with them to go through a training process to become more skilled in fingerprint comparisons.
Does it require additional schooling or continuing legal education, or is that taken care of by your in-house, I guess work that you do with people in your department?
The training that we take required by the state, as well as our in-house training, covers all the training that we need to do fingerprint comparisons.
Right. And is there a certification that you receive that gives you the credentials to do this?
The certification that we receive is through the state of Georgia, and it's part of our overall crime scene technician certification.
In the course of your employment with the Gwinnett County Police Department, have you had the occasion, number one, to do analysis of fingerprints prior to this case?
Yes, I have.
And number two, have you had the opportunity to do fingerprint comparisons?
Yes, I have.
Have you testified to that in a court here in Gwinnett County or anywhere in the state?
Yes, I have.
And have you been certified as an expert witness in fingerprint comparison?
Yes, I have.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Jones has reminded me once again, there's one other question I have to ask. We've looked at a lot of items that you processed. Were there any latent prints of value found on any item except for the trash can?
The one latent print of value in this case was on the exterior of the trash can.
Is that unusual in your experience?
No, not unusual.
You see on TV all the time, they find fingerprints everywhere. Is that your experience?
No, there's a lot of factors that go into whether or not you're going to be able to recover a latent print off of something. There's environmental conditions, and that just means the weather or the environment, the humidity, and the air. Then there's the physical factors that play a role on both the person leaving the print as well as the substrate or the thing that they're touching. So if the person, if they're sweating, they might have more fingerprint residue that they would be able to deposit on a substrate, on a surface. Or if their skin is really dry, maybe they wouldn't be more apt to be able to leave a fingerprint on a surface. The surface itself, the substrate, if it's textured, sometimes it's hard to leave a print on a textured surface. If it's a smooth surface, that's typically a good surface to be able to recover a latent print from. If it's smooth, if it's rough, if it's gritty or dirty or burned, things like that.
Will affect,
yes, the ability both to leave the print as well as be able to recover any prints.
One second. I think that's all the questions I have for you, Investigator Finney. Thank you.
Cross-examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused. May this witness be excused.
Just a second, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I want to confirm that the state has previously tendered and had admitted photographs PS, or the court's records reflect that it was PS 103, 104, 105, and 106.
All of those have been tendered and admitted without objection.
Your Honor, at this time, the state would begin to tender items of physical evidence. The first being State's Exhibit number 9 and 9A, which are identified as the bag and the Walmart receipt.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
States 9 and 9A are admitted without objection.
We would submit 10 and 10A, which are identified as the Anna's linens receipt and the bag that was contained in it. 10 is the bag.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
10 and 10A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit 11 and 11A, which is described as the bag containing a partial roll of duct tape, which is designated 11A.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
States 11 and 11A are admitted without objection.
we would move to admit item number 12 and 12A, which are defined as a paper bag, item 12 containing a Walmart bag.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
12 and 12A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 13 and 13A. 13 is identified as the bag, and the A is identified as a Bic long-handled lighter, S13A.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
13 and 13A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 14 and 14A. 14 is identified as a paper bag which contains item number 14A, which is a small Bic butane lighter.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
14 and 14A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 15 and 15A. 15 is identified as an evidence bag which contains item number 15A, which is a Duraflame long-barreled lighter contained still in its packaging.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
15 and 15A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 16 and 16A, which are identified as 16 is a paper bag which contains 16A Kingsford Matchlight Instant Charcoal Briquette bag.
Any objection?
No objection.
16 and 16A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 17, which is identified as a paper bag containing item number 17A, which is an Ann Linens plastic bag, which was submitted for fingerprint analysis.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
17 and 17A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 19, which is a sealed paper bag, which has been identified as containing the remnants of a burned brown and maroon comforter. There is no 19A, Your Honor. This is not a bag that should be opened by the jury if the item goes back. We don't intend to remove the contents of that bag.
Okay. Any objection to 19?
No objection.
States 19 is admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 20, which is identified, 20, which is identified as a paper bag containing item number 20A, which is duct tape that was removed from the victim's body and returned by the medical examiner.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
20 and 20A are admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 21. And Your Honor, we've had the item inside marked as 21A. 21 is a paper bag which contains the remnants of a charcoal briquette bag. We would ask permission to reseal this bag. The items are burned and crumbling, and this should not be opened by the jury.
Any objection?
No objection.
21 and 21A are admitted without objection.
Your Honor, again, we would move to admit item number 28, which has been identified as a sealed bag containing the victim's burned clothing. This should not be opened by the jury.
I'm not sure that I have a 28.
I'm sorry, 22. My fault.
Okay. Any objection to 22?
No objection, Your Honor.
States 22 is admitted without objection.
We would move to admit item number 23, which is identified as a burned black garbage bag or a sealed bag containing a burned black garbage bag. Again, this is an item that should not be opened by the jury.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 23 is admitted without objection.
We would move to admit State's Exhibit number 24, which is identified as duct tape from the victim's clothing and legs. This is an item that should not be opened by the jury.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 24 is admitted without objection.
State's number 25 is identified as a metal can containing charcoal briquettes that came from the garbage can from the medical examiner.
Any objection?
No objection.
25 and 25, or excuse me, 25, there is no A.
There is no A, Your Honor. This is not an item that should be opened.
25 is admitted without objection.
We would submit State's Exhibit number 26, which is a sealed galvanized garbage can, which has been identified by the witnesses as an item that should not be opened by them.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 26 is admitted without objection.
Finally, State's Exhibit number 27, which is an envelope containing a latent print card as well as 4 known print cards from Tiffany Moss.
Any objection?
No objection.
States 27 is admitted without objection.
Your Honor, I have no further questions for this witness.
Did you tender 18?
If I didn't, Your Honor, I will. I have item number 18.
From the comforter bag.
Item number. Oh, yes, sir. I missed that one. We would tender item number 18 and 18A. 18 is identified as a paper bag which contains a plastic comforter package from Anna's Linens, and we would move to admit that.
Any objection?
No objection.
18 and 18A are admitted without objection.
And with that, Your Honor, I have no other questions.
Cross-examination.
No questions, Your Honor.
May this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're excused, ma'am. Thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take one of those mid-afternoon breaks at this point in time. I'll remind you of the instructions that you might be able to repeat back to me at this point. Do not discuss the case with anyone. Do not allow anyone else to discuss the case with you or in your presence or hearing. Do not even discuss the case amongst yourselves. Do not attempt any independent research or investigation in any aspect of the case. Do not read or listen to any accounts of the case that might appear in the news media. You're welcome to go out for a 10-minute recess. Thank you. Our jury's out. You're welcome to be seated. We'll be in recess for 10 minutes. Thank you.